Ladies and gentlemen, just when we thought that we were running out of interesting stories in the chess world, a new drama has just dropped. So I would like to welcome back all incumbent and existing chess fans to the channel. And because this covers kind of a popular streamer, kind of in the main gaming community, maybe we will have some new chess fans as well. Welcome, I'm Levy, GothamChess. This is the biggest chess channel on YouTube so far. Hopefully it stays that way. And I kind of have to make a video on the subject because it's a big deal. But I hope to give you a fair and honest assessment of the events that occurred. And we will have a pretty bright outlook into the future. Even though I'm the biggest chess channel, I don't like covering negative drama as much as people think. Like, I really couldn't care less about the viewership that, ultimately comes in from this stuff. But I like to give an honest opinion of certain situations and my perspective, which is generally, relatively normal. So, one sentence summary of this video. DrLupo, very prominent streamer, content creator, gamer. I know him because he's been streaming for close to a decade. He's very famous also for raising money for St. Jude's. He's raised tons of money, has very famous streams for that. He played in a chess tournament on chess.com called PogChamps, where streamers participate. He had a really monstrous performance against the top-seeded Wolfie, and ultimately his account was closed for fair play on chess.com, and he put out a social media post just before that explaining that he's actually withdrawing from the tournament because of something that he did, and he apologized for it. Also, as I'm recording this video, it's actually live streaming literally now. I popped in there for about an hour just to see what he's saying about the situation as well. And when this news first broke, I was like pretty shocked because I don't know much about the gaming community. I stick to chess, but I know that overall, my vague understanding is that Lupo's like a good dude. He's a husband, he's a father. He, like I said, raises money for charity, like big streams every year. So I was like, really? This happened? So I'm going to take you through the events, all right? Whether you're a new chess fan or an older chess fan, I'll tell you everything that led up to this. Then I will show you the games in question, the two major games that made it all over social media, and I'll give you my take on the situation, all right? Like I said, I hate making stuff like this because I've been involved in a drama way back in 2021. I was in the right, and, it's the whole thing that happened with Indonesia and that whole thing, Dewa Kipas, and I just don't like when people dogpile, and I don't want to feel like I'm dogpiling, but I feel like as the biggest chess channel, I have to cover what happened, and I have to, have some sort of outlook. So the games were played, and then this came out. I was asleep. It was like 4 in the morning here in Spain, and DrLupo posted, regarding the chess.com PogChamps tourney, I had a lot of fun playing, but decided to drop out of the event to help maintain competitive integrity for those involved. Having the main stream up on my left monitor over the course of the day today to watch other games being played led to me getting move information I shouldn't have had. That's on me and no one else. That's my, F up. I apologize. You'd think I know better, but here we are. And then, he was mildly provoked and antagonized by, the folks in the comments. Shout out Ludwig. And the streets that he is referring to are Reddit and social media. This post also got like a lot of people writing things like accountability. Sorry to hear that. Good on you for doing the right thing. More on that later. That's, that's kind of a little, silly in my mind. But then chess.com posted, DrLupo has been closed for a fair play violation that occurred during today's PogChamps event. They didn't elaborate. He will be replaced in the consolation bracket before the start. We wish everyone the best tomorrow and remind everyone that anybody receiving help during a match is a violation of our fair play policy. So basically, he said that he was playing while watching the live stream chat, getting moves, and then ultimately, making them. And yeah, by the way, the chess world not satisfied with this. One of many outspoken folks, Grandmaster Andrew Tang, who posts like once a quarter on social media because he has a full-time job, I think. Really sad, how taking accountability seems to be difficult. Chess players know what you did. It's obvious you did the same thing in your other game against Wolfie. Like, have some respect and apologize properly. And like, this is where we, currently stand. Then I will touch on quickly how this happened 4 years ago, actually, in a very, very high profile incident when Vishwanathan Anand from India did a charity simul, and Nikhil Kamath, who is a businessman in India, also had his account, I believe, closed for fair play violations, and ended up making some sort of, post where he said that the game was played for educational purposes, and then Vishy responded, and yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, so here's what I'm gonna say. However people get assistance during a chess game, whether it's through an engine, which is just, Stockfish telling you the best move, inputting the moves, toggling the moves, having a person play on their account, whatever, or, reading chat. A lot of people are tempted to cheat in chess, especially beginners, and like particularly in competitive settings, because it's a very difficult thing to get into, and it can be very, very, very frustrating to lose. Like, especially, because it's a unique game, not like a first-person shooter, which makes you feel really, really dumb, makes you feel like worthless if you lose. It's true. Like, many, many people just cheat and don't even realize how bad it is. There was a Reddit post like 2 weeks ago in 2025 of a guy whose doctor told him he is a cheater on chess.com and was like, everybody cheats. Like, what's the big deal? It's just chess. This guy's doctor. My first thought was like, can he cheat during surgery? Like, is he gonna like take shortcuts? So I feel like that's what happened here. And again, I don't know Lupo. Obviously pretty solid dude outside of this. I think he just did something kind of dumb. And it's really unfortunate, and whatever that ends up amounting to, with the fan base and what they decide and take away from that, like, it's a mix. People are saying, glad you owned up to it, still respect everything you do. Other people are like, you didn't own up to it enough. That's not the real story, etc. That's where, that's where the fan base and audience is split. Now, I will show you the games. I will just very quickly, again, elaborate on this thing. This was 4 years ago. This was a charity simul. It wasn't a money tournament. So before people in the comments say, this was a charity thing, and that would, PogChamps does have prize money involved, although I think it might go to charity. Nikhil Kamath said, yesterday was one of those days I dreamt of when I was a kid learning chess. It's ridiculous. So many people are thinking that I really beat him in a chess game, almost like me waking up and winning a race against Usain Bolt. It's very normal in these high-profile cases of somebody winning against somebody else with a fair play violation that they sort of say like, well, I just did I didn't realize, that's like my bad. But the chess community takes it very personally, because they're like, you don't realize how it looks. You can't just say, well, nobody thought I would win a race against Usain Bolt, right? And Vishy, to his credit, 4 years ago said, yesterday was a celebrity simul for people to raise money. It was a fun experience, upholding the ethics of the game. I just played the position on the board and expected the same from everyone. Kind of a non-statement, and then you sort of move on. Now, these are the games. This is the game that went viral, but the second game, the second game is what people are also talking about, and they're not happy about it. They're not happy about these two games. And in cases like this, which I will show you and then I will talk about a little bit more after, I do wish, like, I can't defend this on a chess level, on a professional level. I can only feel this sort of pain on a human level, which is what I'm saying. Like, beginners are very tempted to do stuff like this. Please don't. And the lesson here is, just don't do it. Don't do any form of this. Because it's quite obvious, especially for beginners, and losing sucks in chess, but we're all kind of in this together, Like, I've played live stream events in video games where I'm terrible and I lost, and it was a terrible feeling. I sat for 4 hours just like losing again and again and again, and yeah, I don't play that game anymore. So I can understand. Now, on that note, Wolfie is like 1400, monster of an opponent. And again, final thoughts will come at the end. Let's focus on the chess right now. The game opens with a Ponziani. This is the Ponziani. Great opening. I have a video, by the way, if anybody's watching this from like the gaming community, not big into chess. I have a video called The Best Beginner Chess Opening. It's a pretty good opening. All right. So Lupo played c3. Black went here. Pawn to d4, which is all very reasonable. This is all the opening. Whether it's memorized or not, it is what it is. The bishop goes to d6. Not a great move. Not a terrible move, but it's, you know, it makes sense. Wolfie's never seen this before, and Wolfie doesn't want to surrender the center of the board. Now, where this game gets interesting is, you know, we have development here, pawn capturing in the center, bishop giving a check to avoid these two pawns pushing forward. In general, having two pawns in the center of the board against none is very good, so just keep that in mind. Here, and now is where something pretty wild happens. The knight goes to the d5 square, which is actually already, as you can see in the top above me, the best move in the position. You know, the knight goes forward. We have a trade. The knight takes in the middle of the board, which is actually very tricky. The point is that if you take the knight, then there is this, right? And then you lose your queen. But white here has a counter, and the mini lesson here is don't leave your king in the center of the board. This is more a lesson for Wolfie as a 1300. Don't leave your king in the center of the board and then open up the position, because after queen a4 check, black just loses, because black is either going to lose the bishop or the knight for free. Lupo doesn't play that. He takes the knight, which is a blunder, and now he loses this. And so from this point forward, by his own admission, he is playing while looking at the chat moves, right? That is the admission. He plays a check rather than taking back the bishop. Then he takes back the bishop, and Reddit was all over this particular move because it's, you know, it's ridiculous. Like, it's a really, I mean, it's just a very, very, like, unnatural move. And again, I can sympathize on a human level. I cannot sympathize, or when you participate in these types of events, when you have crossover between a chess event and like a prize money event, even if it's for charity, people get very, very upset, and I would argue justifiably so. There is a, you know, prize money involved. It's not really for charity like the Nikhil Kamathvishi Anand thing. The move played here is pawn to b4, which is a wild move. This is a pawn sacrifice, but the computer here for white is sacrificing this pawn to open up diagonals, open up straight lines, you know, do stuff like this, and I guess deflect the bishop from hitting the knight. I mean, the computer is obviously very strong. So takes. And to me, the most natural move here is bishop to b2, because that kind of makes sense, because you just opened up the diagonal and maybe you want to then bring the knight. Like, there are moves that I can justify. Moving the rook here is, I don't get. I mean, again, when the move is ultimately played, I can, you know, can start to appreciate it. Like, the bishop gets out of danger. This is all self-explanatory. Rook blocking the back rank checkmate. All of this kind of makes sense. Now we see that bishop move opening up, targeting the queen on the f6 square, which was attacking. If you're playing this position with black, what you want to do, the way you want to win when you have an extra queen, is you want to trade the rooks off the board. You want to get the rooks off. You want to trade the bishops. You want to trade the bishop for the knight. The less pieces white has, the less of a chance of counterplay they have. And as we see here, black is sort of getting swarmed by the bishop, the knight, the rook, right? All kind of pointing in that direction. But the knight comes back to the c2 square, right? Again, best move in the position, targeting the bishop, and this is an idea, and also this is an idea, right? So there is a monster counterattack being launched at the black king here by the underdog. And at the time of this game, by the way, black blundering a bishop, right? The queen was attacked, the queen moved, and now suddenly white has 3 pieces for a queen. White has activated all of their pieces successfully. They control the position. The king can't even walk up, so black's other rook is not ever entering the game, and the computer already thinks white is almost better. So now white goes from being a queen down to almost better. Rook comes here. Bishop c3 is a crazy move, stopping checkmate. Wolfie saw a queen sacrifice checkmate possibility because he's really good, very experienced player, and this is perhaps the craziest moment of the game. So this is the moment that, you know, again, there were moments in this game, Reddit was all over. The knight is attacked here. The bishop is attacked. That's not even an attack on the bishop. The bishop is targeted. And, you know, white first plays bishop here. So the bishop gets out of danger, attacks the queen, which is defended by the knight. And then on this move, Wolfie just straight up hangs a queen. Now, if you ask me what to do here, I will take the queen in a second. I will not even for a second do anything else, because I realize that after that I can give a check and then take the pawn. We have check instead, And now the best move before you take the queen is to give this check. But you see that, right? It's better. And the reason for this is if you take this pawn, the king has to go to the back rank. Whereas if you take this, black will take with the pawn here. And what will happen then is the king will run forward. The king will be much more active and will not be squished on the back rank. That is the subtle difference between these moves. And we see, obviously, Lupo, by his own admission of reading chat moves, finds the better move. And again, not good. This was not good, because when you are a 600 rated, frankly, even when you're 1324, you don't realize how it looks. And even here, not taking the rook with the bit, and ultimately taking the pawn and delivering a checkmate. And I gotta tell you, I'll be totally honest, when I saw this game, I did not have a good feeling in my stomach. I saw the news, there was a big upset. And there are upsets in a streamer tournament all the time, because not all streamers play the same amount of games. But when I saw this game, I was like, oh, yeah, this doesn't smell good. And there was another game. Like, they played 2 games, and this game, from the opening, I think this is playing on your own, right? Like, I kind of get it. It's like, it looks like a normal game that a regular 600 plays. A lot of people are 600 at chess. But from this game as well, it was like, I think even already here, like castling, playing the move pawn to f5, the knight is attacking both of these pieces, etc. And, the most impressive sequence of this game comes like somewhere here where, we have a rook move to b4, we have a rook move to g4, and then an attack over here. And instead of that, black traps the knight first, and then does this, and wins a very convincing game, like a really high level game of chess that looked like if I played Wolfie, I might, I might pull off. And so we have the current situation, right? We have a situation where, like I've already said at the beginning of this video, I am very bothered by just simply being a professional chess, whatever you want to call me, player, content creator, personality. Like, that's what I do, and I can't defend these actions at all. And the message here is, some people do this stuff like the simul, like this, because chess has this really weird way of just getting like deep inside your soul, and you just feel not good enough, or not intelligent enough, or not, it like really attacks your psyche in many ways. And so you just like, you just do it. You read the chat, or you do something else. And the other on the other side of playing unfairly is people just like the doctor, they just think chess is like this stupid little board game. They're like, who cares? Like, I'm using it to learn. Those are kind of like the 2 schools of thought for why people do something like this. Both are bad. And in this case, Lupo is very clearly has a track record of doing a lot of very good things, but this was not one of them. He messed up big time, and he should own up to it, maybe even more than he already has. All right, he should maybe host a chess tournament. All right, he likes doing stuff for charity. Admit to it, do something positive. Life goes on. I don't like the other 2 schools of thought that exist when something like this happens. People are like in his chat going, contact his sponsors. It's ridiculous. This is a completely heinous overstepping in today's society, like, to go to that level. And then on the same side, you have the people that are like, kudos to you for owning up to it. Like, no, both schools of thought, in my opinion, like, the truth is somewhere in the middle. All right? You can do something stupid, and provided that it is something like this and not, the myriad of other stupid things you can do in life that result in much worse outcomes, apologize, do something good, we'll all move on. You know what I mean? That's the message that I really wanted to send here as the biggest chess content creator. I am not trying to pile on anybody. Do not, I cannot stress this enough. If you are a crusader that goes into a content creator's chat or anything like that from any video made about a person. You're a scumbag. Don't do that. People are allowed to do stupid shit in life, okay? As long as they own up to it and they move past it. And let this be a lesson. Don't play unfairly in chess. It's very obvious. And particularly don't do it on a high profile against Vishy Anand. Don't do it in a prize money tournament. Even if it's not about the money, even if it's about the ego, if it's about, not feeling like you just can't handle losing, just don't do it. And try chess. Give chess a shot. The chess community is very upset about this, but we're generally welcoming good people for the most part. That's all I have for you today. Crappy situation, but hopefully it will end more positively. Get out of here.